Hi guys. Okay. So I did it again. I got sick on a snow day, which is awfully counterproductive. But yeah, we will have school for like another 5 days, so raha. But so today I wanted to talk about the concept of the atheistic witch, which is just what I call it. So don't. I know you're like, what right now, but bear with me. So first, let's examine the uh, three categories. We have atheist, agnostic, and theist, which again is black and white thinking, which you all have figured out right now that I don't exactly subscribe to. But we have the atheist who does not believe in God, we have the theist who does, and we have the agnostic who has either not decided or denies the ability to prove or disprove the existence of God. And then there's certain things that usually go into those categories, such as an atheist may or may not believe in an afterlife, a theist may believe in a literal higher power, and agnostic is just that gray area in between. So naturally, since I don't really like black and white stuff, I fall into the agnostic category. But my beliefs do uh, take from both the atheist and agnostic side, and theist side. Um, so in a way, some people would call me an atheist, some people would call me a theist, and just I would say that I'm an agnostic. But I think I lean in a lot of ways more towards the atheist side, and again in a lot of ways towards the theist side. So this is just confusing and insane. But I've got it all planned out. But I may not be able to uh, express this in a sensical way. So if by the end of this video you are like, what just happened? I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, I do believe in the god and the goddess because there is that duality that I discussed in the other video about the gender-neutral god and goddess thing. I believe in the duality of a god and goddess, which presides, I suppose, over nature and the workings of the world as masculine or feminine, not specifically girly or boy, but masculine or feminine, which is also explained in that video. And then I think I've mentioned before that I do not believe in a literal goddess and a literal kingdom of God. Um, this is more of a concept of two parts within ourselves uh, that the source, and I'll talk about that later in this video, put within us, I suppose, as we progress as humans, as people who are superior to animals, that we differentiate from animals in that way, that we have the ability to influence our own lives. Um, so when I pray to the god and the goddess, I'm not praying to a literal thing in the sky, a flowy-haired woman and a green guy. Um, I do envision them in some ways as literal beings, but that is simply to aid me and help me visualize, because when you visualize, things work out better, apparently. Um, but I do not believe in a literal god and a goddess. Um, there are two parts that are within you, and they help you to create, like I said, magic, which is why I believe I'm very proud to call myself a witch, because lots of the other mainstream religions go on the concept that a god or a higher power determines the events in their life, and I, as a witch, go on the concept that I work with a, quote, higher power to influence my own life. So I have a say over things. I have all the say over things, but I'm just helped along by that extra conscience, I suppose, that I call the god and the goddess, but I don't literally believe are completely separate from myself. I think they are something that is me, that has been inside of me, that's just not a conscious part that I can access without certain spiritual elements. So that sounded really esoteric and confusing. If you get it, good for you. It makes sense in my head. um, so that's the more atheist part of me, because I don't really believe that we're praying to something completely outside of ourselves. The theist part of me is the source, or the agnostic, I suppose, part of me. The source, as some people like to call it, or the thing that created the universe. I don't believe that in this point in our lives that humans could even assume they could understand the creation of the universe, whether it is completely scientific or spiritual or godlike or anything like that. Like, how would you have any way of knowing? Um, and some atheists say, well, duh, Big Bang, duh. Well, what happened before that? So, and then what happened before that? And then what about before that? And then what about before that? It's just a bunch of cosmic accidents. And then we have the theists who say, well, obviously it was a god who set it in motion. And then we have the whole thing like, what set the god in motion? And so I don't see how anyone can even pretend that they actually knew what happened. So that's the agnostic side of me, because I'm just like, how do you prove this? And just because you can't prove it doesn't mean it's disproved, so there we are. So that I don't bother with it. Like, I don't really think about it too much because there's not much I can do about it. It won't help me either way to know whether the universe was created by a cosmic source or not, so why think about it? Why ponder it? And then the theist side of me who does believe in that unconscious, I suppose, element, or the spiritual element, that aids me in creating my own fate. So that's all compounded together, and you get the agnostic atheist witch. Yay! So sorry if that was really confusing. I said it would be confusing, and there we are. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments, and see you guys later. Bye.